All right, we'll call the meeting to order here.
We're rolling.
Old business, I don't think we have any at this moment. Minutes, not at the moment. Colliers, we're ready to go.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Everyone have a update sheet? Yep. So the last time, I was trying to think about when's the last time we met, was before school opened. And there was that walkthrough, I believe. So, a lot's happened.
Last month.
I thought he wasn't there.
So, they did pave the parking lot that I had told you they were going to. So they paved that parking lot in the front entry drive. They've continued with the stormwater infiltration system installations. They backfilled large fire suppression tank, and are working on the fire suppression underground utilities in that area. The rough grading of the site topsoil placement along the road, and they've been screening some topsoil, so they're getting ready to replace that. And then connecting the oil tank and supply lines to the building into the mechanical room. So a lot happening. Obviously, a lot more sheathing on the outside, and the spray vapor barrier, air and water vapor barrier has been going in. Roofing has been going in and is just about complete as far as the membrane being down. So the building is really starting to take shape as you drive by from the street. The fencing had been moved out, so where the contractor had been parking, they're starting to shape that area, do some underground infiltration systems in that area as well. The underslab utilities installation in the mechanical and electrical rooms was completed. The slabs have been poured in the gym and those other areas that weren't quite completed when we toured. I think it was in that front lobby area where the slab hadn't been poured at that time, so that's been done. The roof blocking and insulation membrane, that's been completed. The brick, a lot of it on the east side, east elevation, and between the existing building and the addition has been done. So you probably don't see it too well from the street, but a lot of brick has been going in and is in already, so it looks good. And windows have started going in, and we're preparing for a air and water test on the windows that have been installed, just to make sure that things are good before going in and then installing a bunch more. So that is scheduled for the 27th, so they'll be doing that testing. The kitchen and cafeteria, that's been completed. Obviously, they're working in there. The staff have been received some training. The storefront windows were installed. I believe those weren't quite yet in. I think it was still plywood in the big window opening, so that's in. There was a lot of underground utility work in that corridor, which is still going on. Really, it's backfilled. The masonry has been put in on the backside of the gymnasium, the backside of the stage there, and they're getting ready to put in the covered canopy. So that's really the next thing. Will be over the next 2 weeks, and then they'll be getting ready to open up that area so that the school could use that. Looking ahead for site work, the canopy that I just mentioned is going to be going in. They're pouring the footings for the canopy in the front of the building. They're excavated, and they're going to get ready to pour those. The new electrical transformer and feeders will be connected and pulled into the building. One of the big things is getting the water tight and getting the windows in and the roof in, and so you can just move a lot, do a lot more activities on the interior. So that'll be coming up. The fire pump house, the slab they mentioned today is they're getting ready to pour. They're just doing some final underslab coordination, but then that's really going to be coming up out of the ground. So you'll see that work taking place. And then that rough grading of the parking lot and that parking in front of the school between 202 and the addition is going to be taking shape over the next couple of weeks. The building addition, completing the roof, as I mentioned, the ongoing window installation. There's a lot of mechanical, electrical, plumbing, rough, meaning just that getting the mains in, not necessarily getting the sinks and faucets in, but getting the main lines down the corridors, getting them into the different areas. And then once that's done, they'll start going into the finish, outlets and faucets and sinks and those sorts of things. But once the building again is done with the sheathing and the roofing, and then they can start getting the wall board on the inside once those inspections have been done for those rough installations in the wall. So that's what will be coming up next. Setting the rooftop equipment, we got the roof curbing, big pre-manufactured curbs that were set on and delivered over the past couple of days, so that stuff is going to be installing soon. And then completion of the south entry work, that whole working way in from that side. For a financial perspective, again...
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When you drive by the two schools, and there's are they temporary telephone poles there? Are those?
Yes.
Those are temporary. They're going to come.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Because somebody-
The one that's right in the middle of the driveway?
My son, who's just getting his license, like, Mom, that's a problem. He's going to hit those. I'm like, I think they're temporary. He's like, no, they can't be temporary. I'm like, no, they're temporary. But
Yeah, we
I figured
actually
I'd
had to
ask.
have a poll hearing on that, the select board.
Yeah, so we couldn't take down the old pole. There's new poles that have been installed on either side of that driveway, but we couldn't take
Right.
down the old pole, which is smack dab in the middle of the driveway, because that is feeding electric to the existing building. The new electrical room, and it looks like the switchgear has been delivered, is in the new addition. So, you have to get that ready to receive the power, the feeders and everything, and get that to a point where then you can take out the old pole. So that's why that's still there.
That's good.
Is there a time frame?
We're thinking this fall. I don't know.
So before winter,
Absolutely.
it's going to be all tarred and level. The pole will be gone.
No, that's when the electrical room will be,
Also, when will the poles will be done before winter?
not before, probably, well, we'll have to check if, it might be after they move out of that building in February, or we'll have to see if they can feed from the addition. But my guess would be it'll be February, March, because that's single phase versus three phase.
Just figuring for plowing, that's all. But it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll have to work around that. That's probably going to be March or April before that comes out, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's part of the reason why we had that driveway be buses only for now.
Right.
When we realized that pole was going to have to stay.
Good idea.
So your son can't hit it, even if he wanted to.
And
Buses
who's driving
only.
the plow? Is that you driving the plow? Oh, we trust you. It'll be fine.
We put some pretty good Jersey barriers around
Yeah.
it. So.
Or maybe you could just
Just
snow
put
blow
buses
it.
and fishtail in the snow.
Just go slow.
I don't know.
Any other questions about construction, or there's something that you might see as you're driving by, or?
No, the brick color looks great. I think it's a nice match, a little bit different, but kind of a nice match to the old, so.
Thanks, yeah, I think so too. I think they still haven't washed it yet, so I think that'll really, we have two different colors in there at the corners. And right now you can barely tell the difference. I think that'll stand out a little bit more once they wash it, but yeah, it's,
Can you see it from the road? Because I haven't seen it.
I can see it from my street.
right-hand
Yeah,
Yeah.
the road is on the
Yeah,
little-
yeah,
little
okay.
window that you can see.
Not when I'm driving by in the
The
morning.
boilers, will I be up and running on what boilers and when?
They'll probably be installed this fall, and we're talking about starting to kind of get things up and running in that building, November, December.
So I am running my old ones
Yes,
for 2 months, 3 months,
Yep.
let's say. And then as soon as we transfer over to the new school, we're running on the brand new boilers.
yes. Yep.
I have a question for you. Don't get excited now. Don't get excited.
I will try and remain calm. I can't promise anything. I'll
The
try.
last meeting, you brought up that there was a potential savings or a credit of $35,000 or something. And there's other items in here which are things. I'm wondering if we as a committee would want to go back and consider some of the items which we passed over that we couldn't afford at the time we talked about it. One of them was extra equipment in the kitchen. We also took some areas we used bituminous pavement instead of concrete. And I'm wondering, since we have this money allocated, would we as a committee want to consider going back and getting some of the things we passed over through a change order? I don't think they would be luxury items, but maybe they're items we want to consider. Another one is we left a portion of the existing roof membrane, I think, on the existing building because it was only like 10 years old, but this is an opportunity to get it so all the roof is 20 years old. So maybe we want to, I don't know if that's feasible or not, but is it something we would want to consider and talk about?
Anybody?
Can you remind me again, the asphalt versus concrete?
Well, I think we got concrete in front of the building, but there's some of the sidewalks and stuff up all inside of the building, which were asphalt instead of concrete, because it was a cost saving. And it was the right decision at the time, based on the information we had. I think all of these were the right decisions. And we talked about the kitchen. We wanted to make sure that the kitchen could be self-standing alone, because we didn't know whatever was going to happen to the high school, and we were missing some sort of a mixing pot or something else. And I don't know if we ever got them on that.
Kitchen is a
I
self-sufficient
think,
kitchen.
yeah, except for maybe a slicer. I think you're a slicer short of the full kitchen.
Something like that. But, you know, just items we talked about.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go there,
But
but
that kitchen is self-sufficient, it
Right.
can run on its
It's
own,
pretty full service.
you don't need the high school at all.
Right.
And they don't slice that much stuff, but.
Outside of their hands. And there was some hardware we passed over too, I think, on some of it. And just, you know, as I keep saying, I'm not going to be here when the roof fails. It's something that we should talk about.
The asphalt you're talking about has already been poured on the east side of the high school.
Right. So part of that was also a deduct alternate. So we were even considering having less concrete than we have now. But right now we have concrete all in front of the new elementary school and all to the west. It is that sidewalk that connects to the high school,
Yeah.
which was asphalt.
There was no sidewalk.
At the one part of that corner, I think, was asphalt, but the rest was not there.
It's grass, right?
So that's been completed, and I think it looks nice. They did a good job with it.
There's gonna be
It
another
abuts
coat going on, right? Is there another coat or is that done?
For that sidewalk portion, I'm not sure. I know there's another coat for the whole rest of the parking
Is
lot.
that the sidewalk that actually goes into the storefront area?
It's on the other side.
It's,
It goes in,
My office.
on
So,
the east side of the.
this is the whole
From
site,
the library.
and here's the high school here. So it's this run of sidewalk that's new here is asphalt. But all of this, here's East Meadow here, all of this is all concrete.
Okay.
I think the roof is an intriguing question, Jim. That would be a pretty significant change, and I don't know if you guys want, from my perspective, just that we haven't really gotten into the existing building yet makes me a little bit
That roof
nervous to
is
think
good
about
until
that big of a change.
2032 is warranty for
This
it.
is 2013, is that right?
What?
2014? When was it installed? 2013, 2014?
About 2-3 years
Right,
ago.
yeah. This is pretty new. But I think we could certainly keep a running list of items that in a timely fashion would make sense. I mean, I think we had something come up recently regarding concrete to get the concrete underneath the dumpsters back into the project.
Yes,
Because we've had to examine, how the concrete pad under the generator is working. And so that kind of led to we took out the concrete under dumpsters, in
What's
the
that?
value engineering sort of.
What do we do there, just tar?
It's
Asphalt.
asphalt, yeah. So
Okay.
things like that, I think, we can certainly continue to.
I just think there's some things to look at.
The concrete on the dumpsters would be a good thing.
We figured you'd say
They're
that.
just gonna sink. They're just gonna make
Yeah.
holes and run.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna do it for free.
You're just not going to get to go back to the town meeting in 3 or 4 years or 5 years and say that I need
Yeah.
$30,000 or $40,000 for an item. and they're gonna say it's a new school, you don't get it. But there's an opportunity here that if these items come along, I think we should take advantage of it, or at least look at them.
I'll put in a plug for that area that Helen is focusing on, and that's furniture. And that's a nice item because it really can have a tremendous difference on how the school is run on a day-to-day basis. Getting nice furniture that's flexible, and that's a nice item that we can purchase at the end after we've seen how the renovation goes. Like Helen said, I think we'll try and keep it in mind in general, but I do think that's a
It's an area
perfect opportunity.
that is one where we know there's a good chance we won't be getting everything that we really want, at least at the first go, so.
Are we able to also get to the contingency to do some of it out of there?
It's up to you.
That's a good committee decision?
The owner's contingency.
Yeah.
Owner's
Correct,
contingency,
yeah.
yes.
That's 661. Right.
I'm sorry,
The 661?
Correct.
it is 661. 325.
Personally, I would like to delay as long as is feasible before we spend any money, because we don't know what's ahead, and so I'm all in favor of spending what we have to spend, but I don't want to end up with coming up short later on.
Sure.
Kristen made a good point that this is the quote-unquote easy portion of the job,
Yeah.
that once you get into the renovation portion, that's when you're gonna find surprises that you never ever think about that will come about, and it may cost some money. So yes, I'd like to see as much of the budget get spent and all these improvements added, but I think if we can do them in a timely fashion so that they're, we know that we have coverage on the unknowns first, it makes most sense. But we ought to keep track of things that don't pass us by, that it's too late to then do that. Right? So, and we can monitor that as we go along.
Okay.
And how do you monitor that?
Well, as you're going along, you're going, okay, if we're gonna put a new roof down on the existing building, what is the date, we ask the contractor, what's the last date that we can make a change order on this to, put a new roof down before you install curbs and equipment and things like that, or then it becomes impossible to do that.
Yeah.
And then you evaluate that against, okay, how far are we into the renovation portion?
Right,
And do
okay.
we know enough to say that we can spend the money or not spend the money?
Okay.
And what is the price, and do we take it out of contingency, and, what's that do to our contingency?
Okay.
So those kind of little, those kind of milestones, keep track of.
Okay, anything else on that? Okay. Anything more on the financial update?
Well, it's just really that we're tracking very well. There haven't been a lot of changes or potential changes yet. We have a list going. There will be a second change order coming, and there's a number of smaller items on there. There's credit for some revisions to the controls based on the equipment that was proposed by the contractor. Had a difference of controls, so we were able to save some funds there. I think that alone was maybe $20,000 credit for controls. But so there's some others that are in the works. But overall, we're on budget. We're under budget. Things are moving along well.
Okay, good. Christian?
I just would mention too, we are out to bid for furniture now. In mid-October, hopefully we'll be receiving bids. And then we'll have a sense of, how are we doing on budget for furniture? Is it a good bidding environment still, or if prices start to escalate? But, so that's kind of a big item that started up.
In terms of the architectural update, things are going very well. Working with Fontaine and Colliers, it's all going very smoothly. We're spending a lot of time on coordination right now with the mechanical and electrical and plumbing, which has been difficult, but usually is, so it's moving along. The only thing really I have for the committee, and it sounds like a trivial matter, but it usually ends up taking sometimes longer than construction, is the plaque. So I just wanted to, this is the old plaque from East Meadow. I think it's actually pretty nice. It was on the wall as you walked into the cafeteria, and we thought we were going to tear down that wall, so we had them remove the plaque and save it. And then we decided to keep that wall so that we could keep the doors into the cafeteria. So we might have them put it back in the exact same position that they took it down from.
Okay.
But at least now I can show it to you tonight. So that's what, just for a frame of reference, we knew that, you know, we weren't going to make that decision at the time. So in the contract documents, we own a sign that's this large and, you know, of roughly this size and font, and so that's one mock-up, and we're kind of harping on the fact that final school name here,
I still got
because
Bob.
we do need, it
Bob the
sounds silly, but we do need that decision
Well,
soon.
I think we're ready to discuss that.
Because we do have the submission for the exterior signage in our court, and we're just waiting on that, as well as this plaque. But anyway, so we printed up these as full size so you could really truly see. That seemed maybe a little too large to us, so we shrunk it down. We're happy to insert middle initials. We're happy to include titles or not. Those have been some of the items that have come up on previous projects that have seemed to have taken a long time.
My first reaction is the names
through
were
that.
tight together, that if we need a little bit more space.
Spread it out.
And spread them down.
We certainly have the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the smaller one is the way to go.
Yeah, I think the big one is,
Too big.
I don't think anybody can lift
Monstrous.
the big one. Once
Yeah.
it's
But I think it was
gas.
actually bigger than that. We printed it out the first time full size and we went, that's ridiculous. So then we shrunk it a little bit, and then here's our option number 2. So I don't know if someone on the committee wants to kind of take charge of this in terms of making sure everyone's name is
Spelled
correct and how they want it portrayed. But hey, I can turn it over to you.
okay.
I'll do that if you want.
Okay, that'd be great.
Great. Well, Jim, I'll let you gather input from everybody else and kind of be our
We're gonna talk about
conduit.
We want to know by next meeting or something?
That'd be great.
If that's your timeline?
Sure. That'd be great.
Okay, is there, do you have more?
I'm going to pass it over to Heather for an FF&E
Yeah,
update.
Tim's already sort of given the update on, that's it's quite all right. FF&E, it's in the bidding realm right now. Once we get those bids in, I think I might have mentioned at the last meeting that we structured the bidding and purchasing, because there is some state contract purchasing, such that there's many options so that we can hit the target number in terms of quantities and, you know, item by item review. So when we get the bids, there will be a very long meeting that will involve Tim and maybe Cheryl, I don't know, Bill, you may well be there. Jim, you're on that subcommittee, more than welcome to slog through the details.
What are you laughing for?
I just feel like Helen called you out.
Thank you.
Jim, you.
So we may not be able to report on that till the November meeting, because I think the bids will be coming in, and we still need to have that meeting. And then similarly for technology, proposals will go out next month. We did shift the timeline a little bit because I don't remember if this came up at our last meeting, but when we did have our technology subcommittee meeting, everyone realized that they didn't want to phase the computers because they wanted them all to have the same build. Now I'm already out of my area of expertise. I have no idea what the same build means, but that they are all set up in the same way. So all of the computers, save for the 4 carts that were pre-ordered and should be coming in very soon, will all come in next August, and so they will all be built in the same way and have the same warranty. And technology changes so quickly that who knows, even in the time that there might be an upgrade, so, so all that seems to be on track.
Is it gonna be smart boards, or is it regular boards, or whiteboards?
They're whiteboards.
Regular boards with interactive projectors. So the pen is smart and the projector is smart, but the board is dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, let's get to the naming of the school. Cheryl sent me an email. I'll just have her explain it, but it sounded like a good idea to me.
So, under school committee policy, to name a building or town charter, maybe, I've forgotten.
It was a school policy.
School committee policy. School committee has to approve a process. So, at our last meeting or the meeting before, we took a vote to organize a committee that will meet. It will be composed of teachers, any staff members, parents, and community members to make recommendations, to discuss the naming of the school and make recommendations that then I will bring forward to this committee.
How long do you feel that process is going to take?
We'll be ready by August. We're meeting next, I hope within the next 2 weeks, so.
Have you formed the committee yet?
Bill has sent out the requests. I believe he also sent out an all-call to parents, but that doesn't mean we can get to the town and the community. So if anybody wants to spread the word that we are trying to locate people who would like to participate. The committee is not only a naming committee, but it's also people to work on the transition. So planning transition activities for students and families and the community as, you know, we close one school and bring students under one roof. And that can be very thoughtful and impactful for the community and families and students.
Any thoughts? Any?
The plaque, then, why would we hang the plaque back up?
Well, because
That was a
that's
school.
East Meadow School.
No, but could it go in the school in a display case? Because where you're gonna put it, nobody's really gonna see it. It's not on the main entrance. It's just, it's not a main entrance, it's where the cafeteria is.
No, it's still, yes, it's still kind of the main entrance into that portion of the building. So that was our thought of
Oh,
putting it
yeah,
there
we
and
wanna put it in-
tying it to.
Inside the main lobby, saying.
Well, the one with our names on it, possibly,
no,
yeah.
the
but-
older one.
No, I would leave it where it is.
Where it is?
Yeah, it's more representative of where it
Why
is.
can't the older one and the new one go next to each other?
Do we have a
Two?
location for this one, Christian? I don't remember. what
It's
it
in
is.
the-
Is it in the vestibule or?
Right,
Okay,
front lobby.
Right, right, the main entry vestibule.
Well, then it'd be kind of odd if they weren't the same sizes, I think.
Bigger and better.
Yeah.
and Newer.
Yeah.
I mean, those people put a lot of time in it to put them in the back room. Let's put them all together.
Well, it's not really.
Well, I don't see it as the back room, I just see it as that's East Meadow, it'll always be East Meadow, but now we've added on to East Meadow and we're calling it something new.
Either way.
Okay.
Well, in my informal polling, I see no reason personally, even though I spent half my life there, why it would not just simply say East Meadow School. East Meadow School was put together and we're renovating that. That's the key, I think that's the key thing why this project went through. You know, the people who, that building committee who put that up in 1965 really had some good, even though it came under $1 million, I see no reason why it just wouldn't stay East Meadow School. East Meadow School hadn't gone anywhere.
I have a strong preference for that too, but we'll see what
But that's me
gets,
talking.
we'll see what gets brought forward, but I definitely,
I think a conversation with West Street though, because, you know, we are bringing two schools together, two school faculties, you know, two school groups of children. And, you know, I want to be cognizant of West Street not feeling like they're moving into a school that's not theirs, that they're part of a transition process, part of the naming process, so that they can talk about, you know, what their thoughts are. And it may be that they're fine with
East-West School.
Bob.
I always thought that, but the way we've done for years is that the kids who went to school at West Street were going to East Meadow. They were moving up to East Meadow, so it's just that they're moving up sooner. They're moving up sooner than expected.
Well, doesn't Bill refer to it as the Meadow?
Yes.
So there's another option for you.
Yep. You know,
Okay, so our next scheduled meeting date is October 12th.
Well, 12th is in 3 weeks. I don't know if you
No.
want to slide that to the 19th
Alright.
for any reason and make it 4 weeks from now. There was talk about with the FF&E packet, that might make more sense as a suggestion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And I like to get as many meetings in as I can, as often as I can.
I'm sure you do. So much for the home life, huh?
I tell my kids I go to bed early so I don't die of boredom. No, if I, explaining my life to anybody, it's so boring, it's like I can't even, it doesn't really, doesn't bear repeating, I guess.
Well, I don't have to write them.
Think about it. Only if we use to do that.
I can't think.
All right, if there's,
Screwed up.
if we're good with the
We just
19th,
started
Be
that way.
alphabetical by last name, but of course those guys.
same time, same place. Why do I have East Long Meadow High School on here? That's a good question.
June, there's no
The
hyphen.
hell's 18th?
19th.
Yeah, no hyphen for me.
Just leave it.
No, it's another, it's a union meeting. I'm much better at things than I used to be, but I still get things messed up.
Cheryl, I'll meet on that
Alright.
committee if you need a community ex-parent.
So if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
All's opposed?